I'm one of your hosts, Sami Kinnison, here with Angela Belford, and today we're going to get grumpy. Ha 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 ha. I'm just kidding. We're not getting grumpy, but we kind of are. We're talking about some things that come up for us a lot, and that these are the things that Angela and I talk about to be like, you want to know what's up? And usually it's the unrecorded kind of conversations, and we're just going to record it today. So hope you guys are ready for it. Angela, what makes you grumpy first?
Oh my gosh, the list is long. Number one, shout out to former podcast guest Abby Clapper, who is now my personal trainer and is determined to, in the name of getting me in shape, she is making me be in a lot of pain because we are determined to work on my upper body, shoulder stuff. So that makes me grumpy when I walk across the floor and just walking, holding my upper body, like, ouch, ouch, ouch. We don't do legs. Oh, we don't work on legs. Like the shout. Anyway, that makes me grumpy.
I will say one of the things that makes me grumpy is when people don't want to let you like the things that you like, and they get all judgmental and somewhat aggressive about it. There's two things in particular. Let me like them and get over it. Number one, pineapple on pizza is phenomenal. And stop coming at me with your, this is gross, blah, blah, blah. Number two, I like Taylor Swift, and I am allowed to like Taylor Swift without people being like, oh my gosh, blah, blah, blah. Here are all my feelings about it. Get over it. Let me like the things that I like. And when you get all bleh about me liking things, it just says more about you than it does about me.
Here's what I'm gonna have to say about things people like and stuff that I don't like. I am fine judging you. You can like what you want to like, and I just want to judge you for it. So I
But
happen
you,
to like the two things that you like. So this is not the good example.
I was gonna say, I'm like, but you like both of those things. Like,
I
come
know, but
on.
there are other things where I'm just like, oh no, you can like that. I'm just gonna judge you like a lot. So anyway, thanks for, me having to use some self-control, not judging you. Okay, this is not really what we're talking about when it comes to being
No,
grumpy.
wait. Don't do it. No, Angela, what's the last thing that makes you really grumpy? I'm teeing you up. It's a softball moment. What's the last thing that makes you grumpy?
Um when people think that they don't have negative limiting beliefs. Was that a double negative?
When
When
people
people
think that
don't
they don't have
Oh,
negative limiting beliefs.
yeah. Like they and I mean, I can understand them not being aware of their negative limiting beliefs, but when you point it out to them and they're like, "No, that's not actually a problem." Okay. Okay. I get into gruesome medical metaphors often when it comes to this is why this I get grumpy. So then I'm like, oh, I'm gonna make you grumpy because I have literally said to somebody, I'm like, I would love to allow you to just live in your negative beliefs how you want to, and if you don't want to heal, I would love to let you not heal. But here's the thing, because we're in a relationship, you come over to my house and you are bleeding all over the floor, and you will not know there's no blood coming out of my leg. There's not a gushing blood coming out of my leg. That's what it feels like to me when people don't want to address the issues that they have. Now, this sounds like ridiculously judgmental
Mhm.
because I want to be the kind of person that just accepts people and that it's like, oh, that's wonderful. And I can accept people, except when they whine about a thing or they are like lamenting and they're really upset about a thing, and you offer, well, have you noticed? Have you noticed that you really seem to struggle with I'm not good enough? I do not. Okay. So I get to just listen to you complain about the thing that it makes it obvious to me that you are struggling with the belief that, okay, I'm gonna sit here, I'm gonna try not to, okay, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try.
Hmm. I think that if I could, we'll expand upon the metaphor and then we'll come back and we'll define it a little more. I think you are more willing to let somebody bleed on your front porch than you are to let them bleed on the carpet inside your house. Like
Yes.
if I have let you in, ugh, come on, like, this is impacting me in some way. There is a direct impact on me in my life. If you're bleeding on my front porch, like, maybe there's a little bit of an impact on me, and I could, like, later on just take a hose and spray it off and call it a day, but it's different. There are some times where it feels like, "All right, whatever. You live in your own negative you bleed all over your own carpet at your own house. Who am I to judge what you do to your carpets?" Uh, but, like, this is my carpet here at my house. I don't like this. I gotta set some boundaries, and I think that
Okay,
that's
so let's spell out the metaphor.
Yep. Oh, you want me to do that, or are you gonna do that? Since
No,
I'm the one
yeah,
making the
we
metaphor?
well, no, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, give us an example of somebody like it's okay if they're on the front porch.
So, I think about, sometimes the maybe this is live. All right, folks, this is live. We're really playing with it. Um, there are times where somebody knocks on your door and they are like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe my boss," metaphorically knocks on your door and they're like, "My boss said that my project wasn't good enough and it's so horrible. Can you believe this thing?" And you can be like, "Well, yeah, it's impacting you so much because you you have this insecurity, this negative limiting belief that makes sense that that is impacting you a lot." But okay, like, you are, like, crying, and me offering the pattern to you at this exact moment, probably not even gonna, like, make it through the tears to your brain. Sure, okay. And then, like, "Okay, you've calmed down a moment. Do you wanna come inside and let's talk about that?" And then it's like, "Hey, you've calmed down a moment. Do you wanna talk about how this does seem to be a bigger pattern?" And they're like, "Ugh, I don't like it, but you're right," or it's the follow-up conversation, like, "I know I was really resistant to that. Part of that's because you really hit the nail on the head." The follow-up conversation or the, like, "I have calmed down from my initial outburst," fine. Also, like, the very first time somebody does this, you are usually not one to you say you don't like whining and complaining, but if it's my very first time bringing something up to you, you're like, "Yeah, of course, like, let it out. Get all those feelings
I
out."
was just gonna say, share your feelings. Yeah, I'm here for it. Yep, I
Mhm.
understand. You need to share your feelings. There is a difference between sharing your feelings, not wanting to be alone while you express your feelings, and
Mhm.
whining and complaining. And it's not it's the repetitiveness.
Mhm.
And
It's if, for example, I complained to you all the time, "Oh my gosh, I just hate going to see my in-laws. Oh, they're so awful. I don't like seeing them. Oh my gosh, guess what? This weekend I have to go see my in-laws and I just bleh, everything about it stinks. And oh my gosh, I went and saw my in-laws yesterday and everything, awful, awful, awful." At a certain point, you're like, do something about it. Like, different than when I call you at my in-laws and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I'm freaking out right now and I need a moment that I gotta let all of this steam so that I can go back into the room and be fine." And you're like, "Yep, let it all out." That's not the moment where you're like, "Well, now, Sammy, do you think that maybe they're stepping on your belief that you don't belong?" Like, that's usually not the moment where you have brought that up when I'm needing to express the emotion.
right.
But when I'm going on and on and on, there is a difference. And I don't know that a lot of people, it's the nuance. It's that there is not whining is not the same thing as expressing your emotion. But I think for a lot of people, if you don't know how to express your emotions, the
Mm.
only option that they use is whining as like a way to give people an indicator light that this matters to them. And it's like there's a healthier way to express your emotion.
Yeah, it's interesting because as you laid that out a little bit more, thought about someone who was in a situation that they didn't like, and they, their it, the boss, their boss wasn't treating them right, and then, this goes on, and we talk about it, make a plan, keeps going, and it's like it got to the point where it was like, do you see what you're doing? Yep. Right now, it does not financially make sense for me to actually make a change in my employment situation. Is it okay if I just need a place to just let this out? And I know I can't solve it right this minute. Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. You've acknowledged the problem and you've said, I really can't actually solve it right this minute." And there were, some extenuating circumstances that were like, "No, no, no, I don't I would
The
not be
risk
in."
is too much for me at
It
this
was
exact moment.
it was actually what they wanted to do is they were in the middle of delivering a pretty big project, and they were like, "For my own integrity and my commitment to the organization, I want to finish strong. So
Mhm.
I'm gonna have to tolerate this, but I do need an outlet." I yeah, let's go. Let's go. And then I was listening with such a different energy pattern because I knew it was just a safety valve, right?
I think for you, the thing that makes you grumpy and me also, like, I mean, I'm with you in this, but for now, we're gonna make it you, um, is that it's the willful ignorance.
Mm,
Um, because even like you said, when somebody doesn't know, you've got patience for that. Somebody's maybe new on their journey and they're trying to figure things out and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I feel like everything is the problem." And it's like, "Okay, yeah, well, it's not gonna be helpful for me to outline here are your 9, here are
mhm.
the 6 of the 7 negative beliefs that you have." Like, no, we might actually just talk about 1 for right now because it might be too much for your nervous system to handle. Actually, you struggle with all of these, baby girl. Welcome to the club. Um, but willful ignorance being like, "No, I don't even want to engage in the work. I don't wanna ask the questions. I don't wanna explore. I don't wanna dig deeper. I just wanna be mad about this. I want sympathy. I wanna be victim-y maybe." Those are things that I think make you a little more grumpier.
I think so, and there are, some of my coaches have offered the question, "What are you getting out of it?" Like, what are you getting out of being a victim? Which
Mhm.
is super hard.
It
Um,
is.
because I can remember like, "Oh, well, gosh, when I have a headache, then my husband, like, makes dinner and I don't have to clean up around the house." So,
Mhm.
I mean, it's kind of a weird example, but, like, I'm not gonna drink water all day to prevent my headache. I'm just gonna let myself have a headache. I'm gonna stay up late watching TV so that then I'm tired the next day so that then I don't feel like doing the thing, right? And so I think that, that's a good question to ask.
Mhm. But also, it's probably a question that somebody is not open to receiving if they're already not, like,
True.
you know, that's what's hard
Mhm.
is that it is a very good question. W The person who's more in willful ignorance is probably offended at the suggestion of the question.
Yeah, I have found that, as I'm thinking this through and unpacking it, the older I get, number 1, I feel like I have matured a lot because I can be like, "Oh, they're not ready to hear. I'm not even gonna waste my energy or my breath." It feels like I have to be a little bit apathetic, and
Mm,
I'm trying to wrestle with that because I'm not the kind of person that wants to be apathetic towards people. But the other thing is that what I have come to reconcile is that um I will try to tell a story of myself because we think about in traveling light, the 7 core beliefs. I desperately tried to get that down to like 3 or 5.
mhm,
I hated that it's 7. It doesn't match anything that they say that is good with nonfiction writing. It should not be 7. I tried to I was going to pull some out and put it in another book, and I couldn't. I didn't. I was like, no, I want to be a well-rounded. And I discovered the 7 beliefs is because I struggled with them. So
mhm,
I have stories of how I figured each one of them out. And that helps me because then 2 things happen. Number 1, I'm reminded of my own humanity and when I was in the not knowing. And number 2, then people don't feel judged because I'm not like, "Oh, I am a paragon of virtue." I'm like, "Ooh, no, I'm just fellow traveler farther along on the journey." And, um, and sometimes they do see it because then they're like, "Oh, a story
mhm,
versus tell, stories sell, an idea." So that's a good
mm.
reminder for me.
I also find that the more that we interact with people's, like, subconscious nervous system parts of them, we are very sophisticated at building defenses and armor
Uh,
and brick walls and concrete padding and all of those things, and then when something feels unsafe, like, it is way easier to say, "Angela, you are crazy and maybe mean for telling me this thing. How could you?" Rather than look at my own self. That is an easier, safer, like, less potential risk to my own self-image, my own stories that I tell about myself, the things that make me feel good because I get all this attention or I get something out of these things. You're trying to take that away from me. You become the not the villain, but sometimes like, "Ugh, how could you wanna take all of this from me? I get good things from complaining a lot and from whining a lot and from not fixing these things." My subconscious brain, because I do think it's more often our subconscious brain, not our conscious brain. There's few people that their conscious brain, but it's probably more often that like, "No, don't even don't tell me any of that. I don't wanna know." I will
mm,
admit, there have been times where I have been mildly annoyed at you because my ignorance was bliss, and then you, like, tell me about something, I'm like, "Dang it, mom. Can't believe that now I can't not think about this." And that when I'm like, you had this whole thing about, wow, I noticed that I'm in this really bad attitude after I eat, like, desserts and sugar and
uh.
excess of amount of sugar for a couple days in a row, and I was like, why are you trying to take my desserts from me? I've also been in the same space, and now I can't help but think that I should probably, like, dang it, that might actually be part of what some of my issue was. I just wanted to eat my desserts and feel fine, feel grumpy the next day. Bah humbug. And somehow or another, my brain says, well, that's mom's fault because she told you about the facts. She didn't make them. She didn't create them. She didn't prove them. She just informed you of them. So now it's her fault. Even
What's
in this
so funny is I had no idea that I was
No,
yeah. Mhm.
you anyway, but, like, even in something as simple as my dessert consumption, and then, like, finally sort of, like, the ceiling shatters, the image shatters, and I'm like, "Oh, I do see a correlation between the amount of sugar I eat and the moods that I am in." Well, this stinks. I'd rather be a kid who gets to eat as much candy as I want and never worry about the consequences. Unfortunately, I'm not anymore. I now know this detail, and I get to act and live accordingly. There are so even if I experience that small annoyance towards you, which is I wanna just, like, clarify for everybody, it is, meant to be an entertaining annoyance. Like, obviously, this is good for me, my well-being, my health, my benefits overall. It's just, like, I don't know, seems more entertaining to be grumpy about it. But it's probably like, I'll get farther along on my journey and I'll be like, "Yeah, this sugar-free cake does taste just like a sugar cake," like Angela was after a year without sugar when I tried the sugar-free cake, and it was like, "This is not the same." Mm-mm.
Oh, yeah, well, you gotta go a year without sugar because then everything tastes good, like strawberries. I don't even think I went a whole year. I think I went 9 months without sugar, and then strawberries were like candy. So sweet. It
Yeah.
was amazing. And
Yeah.
then I fell off the wagon and I ate lots of and I've had 2 weekends in the last 6 or 7 where I had dessert like 2 or 3 of the nights of the weekend, and it's like, oh, that was really bad. That was
Yeah.
really bad. Because then I'm like, "Why is my life so sad on Sunday and Monday, and I don't understand, and I can't think my way out of this." Then I'm like, "Oh, wow, this pattern's bad."
But see, you're willing to acknowledge the pattern and things like that, so that's something that makes you grumpy. What do you hope what do you wish that you could, like, change and just, like, magic wand, this is how it works?
I guess I wish that I could like, there's an element of I feel like people are sometimes going through life watching a 3D movie without 3D glasses.
Mm.
And so it's a little fuzzy, it's not clear, and I wanna hand them the glasses that says, "Hey, look, you're seeing things differently, or they're trying to watch a regular movie with glasses that are designed for something different. And I want them to, I have experienced so much more freedom. Am I still on my journey? Of course. I mean, Victoria's Song says at each new level of achievement and of growth, you you will still experience fear. You will still experience these, your negative beliefs. You will have to learn them at a deeper level, at a higher level of healing. And some days that feels excruciating. Some days that feels like, crap, what's the point then? Might as well just wrestle with these demons right here. Right now, I feel like I am on, like I'm trying to cross a bunch of, how in action movies they try to cross over, like the roofs of
Mhm.
buildings. And I feel like I'm up against this wall where I'm on the top of one building and there's this brick wall. And I know that somewhere on this brick wall, there's got to be stairs or an elevator, or there's got to be something that I'm missing because I can't just scale the wall. And so I'm trying to figure that out. And I guess I work hard at that. And so then when others aren't, then it just, as long as it doesn't impact me, I'm a lot more tolerant. Like you said, when they're on the front porch, but man, when it impacts me, I don't like that. I
Yeah.
don't like it one bit.
Well, maybe a admitting story on my own self. We have a team member who I got to give feedback to that it was like, hey, like sees like. And as somebody who has struggled with perfectionism and people pleasing and different things like that, these tendencies that are coming up for you, they are going to be really hard for you to deal with on a long term basis. Now, don't get me wrong. This is how you know I'm being real, because it is to my detriment to tell you to go address these things. I benefit from your perfectionism. Me, the company, Sammy, the company benefits from your perfectionism. Sammy, the individual, really would like to encourage you that this was a hard path and I didn't like having to walk it. And can I just pass on some lessons that I've learned, that you don't have to get all your value at work? And that's really hard, and all of these things. Anyway, it was an interesting end of year feedback session where it was like, you aren't going to hear this from most bosses, because why would I? So I was like, I had one that was the opposite. I benefited from their
Right.
ignorance. And
Yeah.
yet I don't know, our whole MO and our integrity is people. Who am I to withhold? Like, hey, I got this really cool thing and I got to tell you about it. And I think that's what's hard, is that you want to evangelize, if you will, and let people know there's a better way. You don't have to keep doing it this way. And they're like, I
I
don't want to hear it. I don't want to know it.
I have a trampoline and it is so fun. Come and jump on my trampoline, because the trampoline has freedom and excitement, and I'm not bogged down by all of the outrunning all of those negative beliefs. And people don't want to come jump on my trampoline.
You know?
You know,
I mean, it is what it is. So
what happened?
anyway.
When did I get my southern accent back? Mm.
Um Anything else that makes you grumpy that you want to leave people with?
No, I can't believe we made a whole episode on Be Freaking Awesome of what makes us grumpy.
It's not
God, it's
actually about what makes you grumpy. It just was a funny tee-in for, let's talk about people who don't want to deal with their limiting beliefs. Gosh, that's why I gave you the softball earlier. I thought it was a funny tee-up. If you guys think that Sammy's right and this was funny, send us a message. Let us know. And if you think Angela's right and we could have just not made an episode about being grumpy, then I don't know, go write it down and put it in a trash can. No, I'm just kidding. Oh my gosh. We're funny and we have a lot of fun here. And that is kind of the point. All right. Well, I guess, Angela, we'll just go ahead and call it an episode then. Thanks everybody for being here. You know how to reach us. You can email us at podcast@befreakingawesome.com. You can message us on social media. You can send a text from the little text message thing in the show notes. And until next time, we hope you guys go be freaking awesome.